So I don't really know what's been going on with Dead by Daylight players recently. There is a higher number of people quitting and just giving up than there ever was before. I don't know what started this, but it's almost like people don't want to play the game, even though they want to play the game, clearly, because they hit the play button. And clearly, I'm not the only one having these problems, because a couple weeks ago, Scott Jund made a video on this exact same thing. Which is kind of why I wanted to make this video almost as a follow-up to his. Now in his video he did give people credit, saying they might want to just not play the game due to how buggy it was, all the desync issues that were going on, but for the most part those are fixed now. And he even said then that it was like at the start of the game when people first saw him that they would just instantly give up and not play the game. And that's still happening. Matter of fact, I have a couple games here that I want to show you, starting off with this game here. This was recorded when I was making that Tuberelle video that I posted a couple weeks ago now. And yes, I know it was a Skull Merchant, but it's just like Scott said. The second they see that it's a Skull Merchant, they just immediately don't want to play the game. And I'm just going to let this footage speak for itself and past me speak for myself. What was that? It's a Skull Merchant. Okay. Sure. Blood Favor, we're going to have to find that sooner than later. Are they giving up? Yeah, they're giving up. Cool. That's awesome. I love that. And just like that, before the game even begins, we have 2 survivors down and about to be hooked. All because they don't want to play against the Skull Merchant? Like, look, I don't like playing against Skull Merchant either. Personally, for me, there are worse killers to go against. I'm looking at you Trickster players. But like, this Skull Merchant wasn't even running a slowdown build. I'm pretty sure they were running mostly a chase-based build. I mean, you saw already that they had Blood Favor, which is annoying, sure. But again, they're not going for an infinitely slowed down Skull Merchant game. They were actually trying to have a chase game. And I can confirm this for a fact, because not only do I have the build, but I have footage from their perspective, because this Skull Merchant was actually crumbs. Like I said, full-on chase build, Blood Favor, Coup de Grace, Rapid Brutality, and Brutal Strength. Not a single slowdown perk in there. And you can tell he's not happy with this either, because 2 people just immediately gave up 20 seconds into the game. Like, that's not fun for anyone involved. So why queue up if you know you can go against killers that you don't exactly like playing against? And don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly always ecstatic running the killers either. Like, when I saw it was a Skull Merchant, I was just gonna go with it because, like, you know, I don't enjoy playing against Skull Merchant. Nobody really does. But I was gonna play the game out and just say, hey, maybe we can win this. Odds are we probably weren't going to, but we'll never know for sure because they didn't even give it a chance. They didn't try at all. They just immediately gave up because, oh, it's a Skull Merchant, we lost. That's not always the case. And again, they didn't have any slowdown, so it could have very well gone in our favor. Now, I do actually have a second game here that I want to share a clip from. It's a bit of a less favorable situation than the Skull Merchant game, admittedly, but I still feel the need to share this. Oh.
Alrighty. Oh boy.
This
okay.
This is gonna suck.
I hate my life.
All
And
right.
we can't see where the boxes are.
I
Yep.
love rule set number
I
2.
love it.
She's going towards somebody who's on a trap, I think.
Did
Oh,
I
I hear
hear
her. Holy shit. Oh, well, I'll just try to remove this. Oh boy. Oh, I found one. Okay. This one at the edge.
Oh my god, I love this game. This game is the best game that's ever lived.
Must be nice.
It must be nice.
It
Okay,
is.
second failed. Okay, 2 more. If I can find 2 more.
No. Oh, she's
They're
killing
killing
herself.
themselves.
Taking someone hook. Wonderful. I love it.
Now, I know this is slightly different than the last game, but they are still trying to basically give up and get out of the game immediately. Again, I understand that this is not a great situation. Iridescent add-on pig to start the game, and you're the first chase. Sure, I get why that can be frustrating, but it's still part of the game, man. Now, clearly, we went into this game as a 3-stack, so obviously this Nancy is solo queue. But imagine how her teammates would have felt if we were solo queue, and she just tried to give up immediately. Like, Dead by Daylight at the end of the day is a team-based game. So basically leaving your team behind because you had a rough start to the game or you don't like the killer that you're going up against is really, really petty. Like, you are fully aware of every single character, every single perk that is in this game, and you know some of the elements can be RNG. And sure, not everyone you're gonna run into is gonna play in a super fun way, because some people, sure, they queue up to have fun as killer, But a lot of people just kind of want to win, and that's okay. Because that's what you're supposed to do, is try to win. And of course, people trying to win may not be fun to go up against, but guess what? You signed up for this as soon as you click the play button. The second you click that play button, a lot of control is out of your hands, especially if you're playing Survivor. Because, you know, as killer, if you see a Survivor giving up, that's kind of just, oh, good for me, I can win a little easier. But if you're trying to win as Survivor and you have 1 or 2 or God forbid 3 of your teammates give up immediately, you kind of just have to pray the killer pities you. Otherwise, you're just not getting out of that situation alive. Like, even as killer, you might not enjoy the fact that people are giving up, because not everyone looks at that as, oh, they're giving up, I can win a little easier now. But for some, it's, oh, you're giving up already? I just want to have some fun. Come on, give me a good chase. It's not fun for anyone involved. It really isn't. I know I keep saying that, but that's the point I'm trying to drive home. Is, please, for whatever reason, if you decide that you don't want to play the game, don't play the game. Don't click play. There is absolutely zero reason to queue up if you're just going to immediately give up at the first sign of something you don't like. Because again, that is just part of how this game plays. So is there anything we can do about people giving up? No, there really isn't. People before, when they wanted to give up, they would just disconnect from the game, and that would take their player entirely out of that match. But now, if someone disconnects from a game, for any reason, they are replaced by a bot. But for whatever reason, now that we have this feature in the game, people are resorting to offing themselves on their first hook, instead of disconnecting and letting their teammates have a bot, instead of being down a player. Why is this? The main reason is the disconnect penalty. On your first disconnect of the day, it's typically about a minute worth of matchmaking ban, then it goes to like 5 minutes to a half an hour to an hour to, I don't know what the limit is, but I have seen it go up to 3 days. Not personally, of course, I do not disconnect that often. But that's mainly why people don't disconnect and resort to just, you know, suiciding on hook. And unfortunately, the only way to fix this is to either make the DC penalties a little less harsh, or get rid of them altogether. Until something like that happens, we will probably see people continue to give up in the way they have been, and that really is upsetting, honestly. I would like to maybe see a bit of a grace period for disconnect penalties, maybe like the first 3 games or so you don't get a penalty, but after that you get 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Or, you know, just make the times less, like I said. Either way, there needs to be more incentive to actually disconnect from the match instead of just giving up like this, because otherwise there's no point to even having the DC bots, because nobody uses them anyway. But that's about all I have to say on this topic. Go ahead and leave a comment letting me know what you would personally like to see done about this, if anything, and, you know, continue the conversation down there. Until next time, take care of yourselves.